Fantastic. Thank you very much for coming. More importantly, thank you for subscribing. Your subscription continues to support and benefit the pedagogical trust. And more importantly, what I want to consider today is looking at the closely, as the title suggests, a closely guarded pedagogical or pedagogical secret. First, what I'd really like to do is just to hand out this document for you. You have to forgive me, I have a bad back, so it's like make noises when I lean down. So if you could just pass those around, there should be more than enough for each of you, hopefully. So, like I said, thank you for contributing, thank you for subscribing, and thank you more importantly for engaging. If we could move on to the next slide, please. So, this seminar is going to be essentially me talking through the slides, but also responding to the slides, responding to the text, responding to keywords, which I feel we need to pull out to establish us as a group moving forward. Moving forward is a key phrase we'll be using. And the intention, the aim for the end of the session is for you, once again, as a group, to feel accomplished, to feel enhanced, to feel empowered to a certain extent. Empowered is a word that I want to push and push and push upon you. Let me start with a few key words, if I may. This is a seminar that will aim to resolve additional issues in response to pedagogical trust, allowing for makeshift patterns of knowledge to formulate now, not in the future, not in the present, not in the past, not in a sequence that is abandoned by youth and non-youth simultaneously, but now, something which, as a pedagogical kind of mainframe to a certain extent, I want to push upon all of you. Next slide. Key factors, key determinants, key elements which kind of shroud this pedagogical secret are encased in this slide. Only on close inspection, only when cerebral cortex and spiritual cortex are linked, only when those two pointers link, only at that point will this slide reveal its content. And its content may or may not be revealed in this session. That's why it's a 10-week session that you've all subscribed to. Once again, thank you. Next slide. I don't mean to be verging on chaotic, however, I will, and I am, today, now, with this image. Again, secrets of pedagogical structures, teaching, learning, established differentiation programs are not necessarily in this slide. However, someone in a context, in a position of inexplicable absence is in this slide, and it's that pedagogical absence that I want to push upon you again today. But that may take some time, it may take a few more weeks than just a single session. And I'm looking at you and I can sense that you agree with me that it is going to take a few more weeks. Next slide. Next slide. Once again, what I want to do, I want to revisit points A, B, C, D, E, and Z. I want to revisit those points. If you could briefly refer to your handout at this stage and read a single word. Choose a single word, and after after 5, could you, if you want to, you don't have to, it's not mandatory, it's voluntary, but after 5 seconds, I'm going to count 5 seconds, could you all simultaneously speak or shout that word? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Struggle master.
Bless you. Thank you. Next slide. Point A, no pedagogy, no secret. Point B, yes to pedagogy, with or without a combine that struggles to unleash each and every master and learner. Point C, why should pedagogy refuse to support mass equalization that is in fact a spectre for control, control that dashes each and every molecule? Point D, let me tell you that you are in fact recognised and ingrained through a heavy heart and a tolerated conscience. My spelling is pretty appalling. Typos will exist, and those typos probably exist in this slide, and I apologise wholeheartedly for those typos. Next slide. What is the consequence? And de facto, what is the consequence? Knowledge through empathy and a priori semantics. A priori semantics. I'm not dealing with a priori semantics, I'm merely glancing it as if a rocket ship passing a solar system, embracing it as you catch a glimpse, but moving swiftly on, not wanting to fully embrace and to fully commit and to fully submit to a certain extent. Next slide. Trello. Fucking Trello. Next slide. I want to talk about paint. Really briefly. I want to talk about paint and how much I love it and how much it contributes to a pedagogical secret. The pedagogical secret, again, is it paint? Is it not paint? When a student asks you to paint, when a student asks you to demonstrate paint, do you dictate? Do you stand back? Do you leave a room? Do you exit? Or do you simply move on to monoprinting? Next slide. What has happened is that the slideshow is completed, which essentially means that the 10-week seminar will now move to the second week. And the second week is exactly the same as the first week, and so on and so forth. But what I absolutely want to do is to clarify that the pedagogical secret, the structure of the secret and its entity, its existence, is in fact parallel to what we think, parallel to what you think pedagogy is. And that's really the answer to a certain extent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.